All right, wheel. What will you give us this time? Tameshi Bloom. We are on Tameshi Bloom. All right. All right, so this is Tameshi Bloom. So the idea is this deck is built around Tameshi Reality Architect, 3 mana, 2/3 legend. Whenever one or more non-creature permanents are returned to hand, draw a card. This ability triggers only once. But the main one is the second ability, X and White. Return a land you control to its owner's hand. Return target artifact or enchantment card with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate only as a sorcery. So you have Lotus Bloom. So with Lotus Bloom in your graveyard and Tameshi, you can basically sack Lotus Bloom for white. Then you use Tameshi, bounce one of your lands, and get the Lotus Bloom back. And you can do this over and over and over, bouncing your lands, getting Bloom back, and sacking Bloom. So you will make 2 mana per Bloom, since you need a white mana to get it back. And then you bounce all the lands to your hand, making a ton of mana. Then you play Cultivator Colossus, and since all of your lands are now in your hand, Cultivator will come in, die immediately, and then you'll put all the lands back into play. Then you simply use Tameshi to loop Lotus Bloom again, and you'll do this over and over until you have enough mana to where you can Finale of Devastation X's whatever to kill your opponent. Now, of course, you can suspend Lotus Bloom on turn 1, but you can also find Lotus Bloom via Goblin Engineer putting it into the graveyard, or you can Wargate for 0 to put it into play. Deck also has other things to keep it going quicker, such as Delighted Halfling, Eladamri's Call to find Tameshi, or Engineer if you need to find that, or Cultivator if you need to find that, Wrenn and 6 to pick lands up. Bone Crusher Giant is a one of right now because we need a way to be able to win through the Ring's Fog Emblem, which we don't have without Bone Crusher Giant, so we can stomp anything, doesn't matter what, and then we can attack into the Ring Emblem. Teferi for Teferi things also helps protect the combo. Also, him bouncing stuff triggers Tameshi to draw another card, so that's another thing. The Ring, Omnath, and Leyline Binding. And Finale and Wargate can find most of the stuff in the deck. Lands are a whole bunch of mostly Bant lands with some red splash for the other stuff. Do we not actually have... and then Zagoth Triumph, yeah, for Domain for Leyline Binding. So that is the main deck. Sideboard is a lot of Silver Bullet tutor targets. So you've got Engineer to find artifacts and get them back. You've got all of these tutors and these tutors to go find creatures or other permanents. So you've got Burnton Forge Tender, Portable Hole, Silence, Dranith Magistrate, Alpine Moon, Tormod's Crypt, Haywire Might, Dragonlord Dramoka, Lavinia, and then a bunch of green stuff. Veil of Summer, Seal of Primordium, which you can get back with Tameshi since it's an enchantment. Or since it's, yeah, because Tameshi returns artifacts or enchantments. Endurance and Force of Vigor. Now, I'm not sure how this is going to perform on Moto because it takes about 10 million clicks to do anything with it, but hopefully it is easier to execute than I think. So let's jump into the league with Tameshi Bloom. And as a reminder, if you look down in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, you'll see the banner for Collector Legion's website. Now that the All Access Pass has expired, Collector Legion is allowing me to borrow the cards I need to finish all of the remaining decks on the list, including many cards that they did not initially have in their collection. They spent $200 to finish up all the remaining cards I needed, so I'm very appreciative of them. And if you are also appreciative of them, you can buy singles of Magic, sealed product, accessories, etc. on their website. All right, round 1 on the play with Tameshi Bloom. Well, we've got Bloom on turn 1, we got Wargate, we got Engineer. His hand is acceptable. We will keep. So I'm going turn 1, suspend, Bloom, fetch land, and pass. And I guess I'm getting Jetmir's Garden for the Goblin Engineer. All right, suspend Lotus Bloom, play Misty, go. Sacred Foundry, shock. All right, we're playing burn. What land do I have to get? If I get Zagoth Triumph, then I have to fetch in... Does this deck not have a Sacred Foundry in it? I guess it doesn't. All right, so Goblin Guide, swing, resolve the trigger. It is a Delighted Halfling on top. I don't want to draw that anyway, so let's fetch, and let's just grab Jetmir's. I will have to find blue at some point as well, right? I just really hate to shock in a red source for Goblin Engineer. That seems terrible, because almost certainly I'm just playing Goblin Engineer next turn. Because the alternative is then I go Windswept Heath, fetch, Stomping Ground, and I'm taking more damage against burn when I don't want to. Yeah, let's just grab Jetmir's. So then Goblin Guide hits us, and we go to 17. All right, Lotus Bloom. We drew Delighted Halfling anyway. Thoughtseize Bug. All right, am I playing that or am I playing Goblin Engineer? So let's math this out. Land Delighted Halfling. I can fetch the other Triumph. And then next turn I have Wargate for 1. I can only put another Bloom in my graveyard, or I guess the Ring, but that's not happening. All right, so let's just go fetch land, Halfling, and then pass, and then we'll fetch the other Triumph. I almost certainly need to just Wargate. Oh, Searing Blaze. Oh well. All right, I need to fetch it now in case Goblin Guide gets it. So Zagoth Triumph, proceed, sir. Goblin Guide trigger, we drew a forest. All right, we're at 11. Lotus Bloom ticks down. Eladamri's Call. I could just Wargate for Lotus Bloom, and then what am I doing? So Wargate for Lotus Bloom, and then next turn I have Bloom, Bloom, Eladamri's Call. Then I go Eladamri's Call, play Tameshi, and then I still have a Wargate in my hand. That seems decent. All right, Wargate, X is 0. So let's Wargate for another Bloom, and pass it back. We are in danger of dying here. We're going to take another 2 from Goblin Guide plus whatever burn spells they have. And if they have instant speed burn, so if they have Bolt, it's going to be hard to win with Tameshi on the board. Swift Spear. So we basically have to win next turn. Lava Spike. So we're going to 4 minimum. Got Windswept Heath off the guide. We go to 4. All right, back to us. So Lotus Bloom should come off suspend now. Cast Lotus Bloom. All right, so Eladamri's Call. Get Tameshi. I guess I could have grabbed Omnath, right? That might have been fine as well. All right, blue, play Tameshi, sack for white, then use the ability to get this back, bounce the forest, Tameshi triggers, I draw a card, all right, return Bloom, and then what's my total mana count? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So do I have enough to Wargate? Right, it's 3 here, 4, so I have 2 floating, so it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then I Wargate for 10 for X is 7 to get Cultivator. All right. I have enough to get Cultivator, but I don't have enough to necessarily win if I don't draw what I need off Cultivator. So it's probably better to just Wargate for Omnath. All right, so sack this for... So I'm going to need all the colors, right? So... And I don't want to play a land yet. So blue, green, 1, 4, 6. I need more... I need another mana. So activate Tameshi, get Bloom back, bouncing... Probably Jetmir's Garden, then get Bloom back. So this is 5, 8. Wargate X is 4. Have 2 mana left over. So let's sack this for green. And then Wargate X is 4. Done. Then grab Omnath. Draw a card. Then play Windswept Heath, triggering Omnath. Go up to 8 life. Then play Halfling. And then I'm going to stop on their upkeep so I can fetch and gain some more life. All right, fetch. And then what do I want? I want red mana. So get this tapped, gain some more life with Omnath. All right, so now we're at 11 and have multiple blockers in play. We're not completely out of the woods, but this is pretty good. They're attacking anyway. They drew us a Plains. So if I block with Omnath, then they can like bolt it or something. So let's see, what's the max damage they can do? Bolt, bolt. We go to 6. We go to 6, go to 5, 3, and then they can hit us another time. So I block Goblin Guide. And then if they have land exactly 3 burn spells that all cost 1 mana, we lose if I don't block Swift Spear, right? Because then we go instant speed, we go to 5. This is another 3. We're at 2, and then they have to have... So they have to have exactly land, triple 1 mana burn. I don't think they have that, so I'm just going to block Goblin Guide. I guess I could Delighted Halfling to block here to just take less damage as well. Yeah, let's do that. All right, they've got Play with Fire. Really? Okay. So then Goblin Guide dies, Halfling dies, we're at 9. Scare the Critics on us, we go to 6. So then I'm just going to Ren in 6, pick up a land, gain more life. Ren in 6, pick up Misty Rainforest, play that, trigger Omnath. We're at 10. If I fletch or an island, we have 5 mana, and I can Wargate for 2. I don't think that matters. No, it doesn't. All right, well, I'll just pass it back to them. All right, I'm pretty sure we're out of the woods now. Combat. Yeah, all right, so they realize they can't win this. So game 2 versus Burn. I want Portable Hole, Burnt Forge Tender. Haywire Might is a maybe. Probably not, though. Drannith Magistrate stops. Rift Bolt, and that's it. Lavinia, same deal. Endurance is fine as a blocker. Dramoka is pretty good at life gaining, but not as good as Omnath. So Forge Tender, Portable Hole. They have what? Roiling Vortex. So maybe I want Haywire Might. And then what am I cutting? Teferi seems pretty bad against Burn. All their stuff is cheap. All right, cut that. That's probably fine. All right, let's see. Turn 1 Forge Tender is pretty good. The hand doesn't have anything else going for it, though, really. But I think it's keepable. 2 pieces of removal and Forge Tender to just block all their guys seems pretty decent. Yeah, I'll keep. Opponent is mulling to 5. All right, Vantage into Swift Spear. That's what I like to see. Give me a creature I can block. Another Leyline Binding. All right, am I supposed to shock here or just fetch a basic Plains? Let's fetch the basic Plains. Fetch, Plains, play Forge Tender, pass the turn. Fiery Islet for our opponent. All right, they're attacking anyway, which could mean they have Skullcrack, but I'm not gonna not block, so block. All right, yeah, there's attack checking us. All right, back to us. All right, so I should play this other fetch land so I can fetch an off-color Triome. I do need to grab red so I can get Jet Mirrors. So pass it back to them. Plays another land. All right, no attacks this time, so let's go fetch Jet Mirrors. I doubt I'm going to just play Bone Crusher, so let's just play one of these lands tapped. Let's just play Hallowed Fountain tapped, and then pass it back to them. Cracking Fiery Islet. 1 mana for Path to Exile. Very well. So let's go grab a forest. And then I'm just going to Leyline Binding this. Opponent fetches. Grab Sacred Foundry, Shock Den. Boros Charm. All right, Leyline Binding. So Boros Charm takes us to 13. Ooh, Wargate. But Wargating for 2 is not useful here. So instead, I guess I'm just going to run out Bone Crusher. Cast Bone Crusher, and then play an island so I have Binding up in case I need it. And then I guess the plan is Wargate for Omnath in a few turns. Crack Sunbait Canyon. Searing Blaze. Very well. All right, opponent's at 14, we're at 10. All right, play this tapped. Yeah, so I could Wargate for Tameshi, but then I can't do anything with it. So just play this tapped and pass the turn. All right, opponent passes it back to us. So I could wait, but I think it's better to just Wargate for Omnath now. And if they have like removal to get rid of it, they have to spend that removal to kill Omnath. So play Beseiju and then Wargate for X is 4 and grab Omnath. Trigger. We drew Lotus Bloom, so let's suspend that. Should I suspend that? They could have Rolling Vortex in their deck, which means suspending it gives me a ton of damage. But they haven't played it yet. I guess I'll suspend it. All right, pass the turn back. Opponent did nothing. Plays another land. All right, looks like they can't beat Omnath, so we have won the match. On to round number 2. Adding Omnath looks like it was a good iteration to this deck. Yeah, it just comes in handy in a bunch of situations. Obviously, it's at its best against burn, but there's plenty of other times where you're like losing to an aggro race, or you have the mana to go grab something out of your deck, but not actually to go off, and so it's a pretty good thing to go grab. It also itself just gets you up to the mana that you need in order to cast big Wargates and Finales. All right, so this hand's very slow, but it does have all the pieces, except for Lotus Bloom. We can fetch the 2 Triomes and then have Binding, and then we can go Eladamri's for Tameshi. It is quite a slow hand, though, but I think I'll keep. The ring being in the hand also elevates it. All right, what are we up against? Basic Swamp. All right, so probably Coffers. We drew Jetmir's Garden. All right, so let's just, I guess I just play Jetmir's Garden and then I fetch the other Triumph next turn. So play this, go. Or I just don't and I just cast Eladamri's Call. Opponent, black, cycles Lorien Revealed. Okay, so blue-black control then. Rafine's Tower entered Revealed Zone. Opponent plays Rafine's. All right, if we're playing blue-black control, then I want to Eladamri's Call now before they have counter spells. So Windswept Heath fetch. Let's go grab, I guess, a forest. Cast Eladamri's Call. And get Tameshi and then pass. I didn't expect Lorien Revealed to be a $3 common. It makes sense why it sees a lot of play, though. Yeah, it's just yet another completely broken card from Lord of the Rings. All right, well, so they've got Triome's mana, but they're also basic Swamp over here. So let's see. I can run out Tameshi, and then it probably just eats a removal spell and dies. So it's probably better not to do that and to just get the ring going. So let's just play Misty and pass the turn. Like cards like Lorien Revealed, all the land cyclers are basically in the same vein as Arkham's Astrolabe. Like, oh, you just have things that just fix all of your colors now for 1 mana, and then they're actually good spells later in the game. All right, so we can play the ring. It could get countered or Bowmastered. I don't know what my opponent's doing, so let's fetch. Let's grab a Plains, I think, and play the ring. All right, blue-blue counterspell. Blue-black-green, Sauron's Ransom in response. All right, All right, do you want Plains Prismatic or Delta Prismatic, I guess? Let's just separate that. Those are the piles. All right, they took Plains Prismatic, clearly. All right, ring resolved, so let's just draw now before they have responses to this. And pass the turn back to the opponent. So their turn could just be play land Prismatic this. So I guess they're like Esper Control with the Triomes as the off colors in order to play Prismatic and Leyline Binding. Sheoldred. All right, so I can just Leyline Binding this before I draw. All right, so Binding, hit Sheoldred. Force a negation, exiling Subtlety. Very well. And then we take 2 from drawing. I could draw more and take even more, which is probably correct, actually, because this hand's not doing anything else. So let's see. I go tap, draw, I go to 10. Then I play, like, what, Tameshi Delighted Halfling. Then they attack us. And if I don't block, then we go to 6 and then 4. Also, Sheoldred just completely screws up our plan of using Cultivator Colossus. So what is the alternative? I Finale for 2 and Goblin Engineer, put Bloom in the graveyard, and then try to go off next turn. but I can't go off with Shieldred in play because I'll die with the Cultivator trigger. Yeah, I guess we just draw. All right, well, that didn't really help. So Finale X's 2, Goblin Engineer, put Bloom in the graveyard. They attack, chump block, unless they have removal. I guess actually, no, I don't chump block because I weld the Bloom out of the graveyard with the ring. All right, land, Finale X's 2, search library, get Goblin Engineer, put Bloom into the graveyard, and pass. All right, they're just instantly killing it. So now we go to 6, and then 4 on draw step, and then 2 actually, right? Yeah, because of the ring. So ring takes us to 4, Shieldred takes us to 2, and then I can't actually go off because Cultivator draws will kill us. All right. Well, we drew another land. So what am I doing now? I can get Bloom back. I can play multiple creatures to chump block. It doesn't matter. I'll just die to the ring or Shieldred. The draws are not optional. I have to draw the cards with Cultivator. So yeah, I'm actually just dead on board. All right. Game 2, I'm playing against Esper Control. So what do I want? Veil of Summer, Silence probably. Lavinia means they can't force a negation or subtlety for free. And Dramoka is also definitely coming in. So let's see. They're a ring deck, probably, which means I have to leave Bone Crusher in the deck. So what am I cutting? I almost certainly need to keep Leyline Binding in so I can beat Shieldred and beat the ring. Delighted Halfling lets us get stuff through counter spells. I can probably cut 1 Bloom. Then what else? I can cut 1 of the Finales. Oh, what else? I really want to keep Eladamri's. Omnath is just fine as like a value card. These are bad top decks later though, so let's see. Cut Halfling, cut another Halfling, then I just need to cut 1 more card. I assume this match is going to mostly be just a slugfest, and it's going to be hard to actually combo. So I can maybe cut Tameshi, like a Tameshi. All right, I'll cut a Tameshi, and then let's go with that. All right, game 2 on the play. Pretty good hand. Let's keep. All right, Suspend Bloom. If they Thought Saves me on turn 1, what land do I want to grab? Probably Breeding Pool. So my play is probably going to be grab Jet Mirrors and then grab a blue land and play Lavinia. So it doesn't matter which one I play. All right, play a land, go. Opponent plays Delta. All right, fetch. So it's Jet Mirrors followed up with Pool or Hallowed Fountain. Yeah, let's go Jet Mirrors. So Bloom. This obviously dies to all sorts of removal, but what are you going to do? So land, and then let's just go fetch. Probably, so okay, Breeding Pool or Hallowed Fountain, which one's better? Probably Breeding Pool. All right, Breeding Pool, Shock, play Lavinia. We do need to actually draw lands. Opponent fetches with Delta. Watery Grave shocked in, so Lavinia's dying. Yep, there it goes. Opponent plays an island. And we need to draw a land. We drew a land. Excellent. So I could Wargate for 0. I'm probably just going to Wargate for 0 and go grab another land in all actuality with this hand. So let's shock this in and then go Wargate. Opponent's just counterspelling it, sure. They play a Swamp, back to us. All right, cast Lotus Bloom. All right, so now I'm just going to play Dramoka with Veil up. So let's go here, 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 here. Cast Dramoka. Casts Ice on our land. Well, what? That denies them a draw. I guess that resolves. All right, back to them. Bowmasters. Very well. We go to 13. They get a token. All right, looks like they're just missing lands. So, okay, play Halfling, and then just attack with Dramoka. Swing. They go to 12, we go to 18, pass the turn. They found their land. Black mana. Fatal Push the Halfling. Okay. I know I can Veil that, but there's no point. It just grows the Orcish Bowmaster token. I'm winning this race anyway, so it's fine. All right, we go to 16. I'm holding this in case they play Ring or Shieldred. All right, back to us. There's Tameshi, who can pick up Lotus Bloom. All right, so Tameshi, then white, pick Lotus Bloom up, paying the white, bouncing this. I'll bounce the forest. So then I draw a card. They get another Bowmaster trigger, but I don't care. Ooh, Omnath, that's pretty good. All right, they target us with Bowmasters to get Bloom into play, replay the forest, and then attack with Dramoka. I guess I can do the Bloom thing and play Omnath this turn, but I'm not going to. All right, so now we pass back to them. They're at 7. We have Veil plus Leyline Binding up. All right, we won. So sideboard games, I think we just keep this as is. Yeah, let's just keep this as is. Submit. All right, what do we got? Only 1 land, Moldus. Well, we're not doing so well here. Mulligan. All right, keep. And what am I doing? I'm putting back a land and honestly probably Wargate. So Temple Garden, Wargate, and then just hope Renin 6 resolves. Opponent plays a Swamp. All right, back to us. Drew Bone Crusher. So let's play a land and pass the turn. Cycle Lorien revealed. Gets Rafine's Tower tapped. All right, so we're pretty likely to be able to resolve Wrenn and 6 unless they have Force Negation. So fetch Jet Mirrors. So wait, if I fetch Jet Mirrors, then what's the other one that I'm getting? Then I'm getting Breeding Pool and playing Wrenn and 6. Okay, Jet Mirrors, land, fetch, get Breeding Pool, shock this in, cast Wrenn and 6. Does it resolve? It does resolve. Grab a land back. Pass the turn. Opponent plays land. Back to us. All right, I'm probably just playing Teferi, and it's getting countered. So let's go land, fetch, grab the base plains, I suppose. Play Teferi. Opponent fetches, grabs a Watery Grave. Sauron's Ransom in response. Teferi Scolding Rip. Oh man, that's rough. Okay, so Rip shuts off Wrenn and 6, but that's not too bad. Stern Scolding counters Tameshi. Also not too bad. Well, I guess Stern Scolding doesn't matter if this Teferi resolves. So let's see, I could put both Teferis in the top, and then their bottom pile kind of sucks. Or I could split it 1-1. So my deck isn't playing any counter spells. I actually don't do anything at instant speed for the most part. So I could put both Teferis on top. All right, let's do that. Rip shuts down the Bloom combo, but I don't actually need the Bloom combo to win. So let's just go Teferi on top, and then these on the bottom. I think that's what I'm doing. All right, what will they take? I also obviously could have split it 1-1. Okay, so they just took both Teferis. This resolved. All right, so we're definitely minusing immediately to draw a card. I know that means it's Bowmasterable, but what are you going to do? Pick a land up with Wrenn. And I've played a land this turn already, right? Yeah, okay. So pass. And then their hand is Teferi, and a bunch of unknowns. Shocking in Steam Vents. Leyline Binding. And they are binding Teferi. So I assume that means they've got Counterspell. Okay, so land. Let's pick another land up. If I play Tameshi, then they just go Teferi, bounce it back to my hand. So the alternative is to Wargate for Bloom, and then they can just bounce that back to my hand. I can also Finale for Goblin Engineer. I don't think I put Haywire in my deck, did I? For this match. No, I did, didn't I? So I can go Finale 1 Haywire, sideboard. No, I didn't put it in. Damn. That would have been the correct move. All right, I guess it's Finale X's 2 then. Fetch, go grab Island, cast Finale, X's 2. All right, search library, go grab Goblin Engineer, trigger, put Bloom in the graveyard. I guess I could put Ring in the graveyard as well, and then eventually get it back, but it's so much mana. All right, so Bloom into the graveyard, and pass. Opponent Fatal pushes Goblin Engineer. How far down is my Bloom right now? One more counter. So the Teferis are going to get rid of it. Minamo, black, white, blue, Teferi, plussing. All right, so Lotus Bloom down to 1 counter left. So they have Teferi, 2 unknown cards. So let's go land, fetch a forest, play Tameshi. Well, they just have a counter spell, so that's that. I can Bone Crusher this Teferi to put it to 3 counters. Not that that's actually that helpful. All right, pick up a land. But it's better than just passing without doing anything, I suppose. Although they do have Bowmasters in their deck, but... All right, let's just cast Stomp here. Wrenn is almost at Emblem. Well, it is at Emblem, but I would lose it. Does let me cast Finale from the graveyard, plus Teferi, and they're just passing it back to us. All right, so we can't unsuspend Lotus Bloom, so that just goes away. All right, I can Wargate for X's 3, so I can get Tameshi. I think it's more valuable to hold on to Wrenn and 6 for now. So let's see, Wargate for Tameshi, then they can tick it down to put it back in my hand, but that doesn't matter. All right, Wargate, X's 3. Well, that just went through instantly. I guess I can also get Teferi onto the board, but what does that do? It means their counter spells are no good, but they would have countered this if they had one. So I go Teferi, and then I what? Bounce their Leyline Binding, and then get another Teferi, and then draw another card? None of that seems great. Let's just grab Tameshi, and then plus Wrenn, get a land back, and pass it back to them. Bowmasters, targeting Wrenn. So what do they do here? They can bounce Tameshi to my hand and attack Wrenn and 6 down to 5. So they're bouncing Tameshi to my hand, and then attacking Wrenn and 6 to 5. Makes sense. And then they're just passing back to us. All right. So I'd probably just kill this Bowmasters and then play Tameshi and try to get Bloom back to draw a card. All right. Kill Bowmasters. Replay Tameshi. So they just have Subtlety to put it back. Yeah, Subtlety, which means they have exactly enough mana or exactly enough creatures to just kill Wrenn and 6 off. All right. Well, I'll put this on top. Then I guess let's cast Bone Crusher, play a land, and pass. So they can play their other Teferi and bounce Bone Crusher and then just kill Wrenn and 6. Yeah, there's the other Teferi. Bounce, kill Wrenn and 6. All right, well, let's try to resolve Tameshi. Tameshi resolved. All right, so let's pick up Lotus Bloom. and bounce one of the forests to my hand. Trigger to draw a card. We drew Veil of Summer, which doesn't work with Teferi in play. So let's see. So I can try to go off here, but if they have a counter spell, then I just fail and have all my lands in my hand. Spells you control can't be countered this turn. So I just do Veil preemptively. Okay. I can also Bone Crusher to kill Teferi off so that I can respond with Veil. All right, cast Stomp here. Force of Negation, pitching Subtlety. All right, fetch. Let's grab a Temple Garden. Shock here. And then Bloom for white. Then let's get Bloom back. Put this back in my hand. So we're just going to go for it. Bloom looping the times. All right, pick up Island. All right, they've just conceded to that. All right, well, we won the match. On to round number 3. 2-0 with Tameshi so far. Pretty good. How's the Pro Tour going? Anything unexpected? All right, round 3 on the draw. Let's see. We don't have the mana to actually cast anything in our hand, so mull. All right, way better. Keep. And then what am I putting back? Probably a land, and then I'm like, this hand's super slow though. So what am I doing? I'm going Eladamri's Call for Goblin Engineer, and then Tameshi, and then Engineer, Bloom, try to go off from there. So I'm going to put back a... What is my sequence here? I go Zagoth Triumph, Plains, Eladamri's Call, Stomping Ground. So I'm putting one of the Flooded Strands back. All right. Urz is mine. All right. We might be in for a rough one here, especially with this slow hand. Drew Hallowed Fountain. Okay, so I don't think the plan changes. So play a land, go. Crack Star for green. Urz's Power Plant. Chromatic Sphere. Crack Sphere for green. Ancient Stirrings. Got a Chromatic Sphere off of that. All right, fetch. Get Zagoth. Plains go. Chromatic Sphere. All right, so they don't have Tron yet. Sphere for green. Opponent plays another Power Plant. Casts Map. All right, so they get it next turn. Casts another Sphere. All right, Eladamri's Call. Grabbing Engineer. All right, so if I go Tameshi, then I go next turn Engineer, go off. But if I go Time Raveler, bounce the map, then they go play map, activate map, have 3 mana, but they only have 5 mana on their turn anyway. So yeah, let's just shock this in and play Tameshi. Sphere for green, map. All right, Urz's Tower, Karn. Oh, Karn. Now we can't go off. We needed them to not, like anything but Karn would have been okay. So let's see, I can attack Karn to 1, gets Tormod's Crypt. All right, so they know exactly what we're doing. What do I do now? So, okay, let's say I Teferi and try to bounce their Crypt. They could activate it in response, but I assume they just won't. And then we attack Karn down to 1 counter. Yeah, I'm just gonna bank on them not cracking the Crypt in response. So blue here, Teferi, bounce your Crypt. All right, then we get 2 draws off of that. Well, that didn't really help, so let's go land and then attack Karn. Unfortunately, our opponent is untapping with 10 plus mana, and Karn's still in play. All right, 12 mana. What do you got? Karn plus on nothing. So their hand is Crypt plus 5 unknowns. Another Karn. Karn minuses, and then they have enough mana to play Sundering Titan for 7. They're 1 short of Sundering Titan. They could play Ballista on 3 and kill Tameshi. That would actually be okay. Walking Ballista. Yeah, so they're just going to play a 3/3 Ballista and then just kill Tameshi off. All right, Tameshi dies. Ballista's dead. Opponent replays Tormod's Crypt. All right, let's go fetch the other Triumph. And then how do I get out of this? Ooh, Bone Crusher. That was a great draw. So I can Bone Crusher this so they can't go fetch Sundering Titan or some such crazy thing. So let's shock in a land. Bone Crusher, stomp the Karn, and then cast Tameshi and pass it back. Another mine. All right, something big is a-coming. Ugin. Yep, that's pretty bad. Well, there goes Teferi and Tameshi. Oh, they've got another thing as well. One Ring. They animated their One Ring. Huh. Okay. So, let's see. I guess my only move is bounce the ring. All right, bounce the ring. There's Leyline Binding. So, land. How in the world do I get out of this? Okay, I've got to bind Karn so that they can't go fetch something egregious. And then I'm still stuck with Tormod's Crypt and Ugin, and they're still going to ring. All right, so binding right now. I guess I could take Ugin out of play, but then they can just like Karn for Sundering Titan and we lose the game. So take Karn, then what? I just play Delighted Halfling, and then they have to either -3 or the bolt one of the 2 of them. So just play Halfling and pass. All right, so now Ugin either bolts one of these 2 or just -3 to kill both of them. All right, so they just bolted Halfling. They replay the ring. Or they just have Ulamog. All right, yeah, we're dead. Yeah, we're dead because I can't get through Tormod's Crypt. All right, they got it. So Alpine Moon, Haywire Might, Portable Hole to snag map on turn 1, Lavinia, Seal of Primordium, Force of Vigor, and what is bad? Teferi's really not very good. All their stuff is so expensive, but they can just replay them easily. They don't even have that much to bounce in actuality, so let's cut Teferi. And what else? I need halflings to get ahead of them. Leyline Binding is good for taking Karn out of play, for taking Ring out of play, etc. I don't need double finales. Eladamri's Call's pretty freaking slow. And then what? One of the Renin 6s maybe? Or Omnath? No, I want Renin 6 so I can Boseiju Loop. So then Omnath? Alright, let's run that. The race is on in game 2 on the play. What do we got? Well, there's Tameshi and a bunch of interaction, but no way to actually keep them off Tron. That's pretty rough. Alright, I'm gonna keep. So the plan is try to blow map up. Forest, Halfling, pass the turn. Opponent plays Power Plant, plays map. Alright, so am I miting this or am I primordiing this? I guess I can just do both, right? Play a land, play Seal of Primordium, blow that up, play a might, and go. There's the second piece. There's Relic of Progenitus, and they can take our Primordium away. And we can't pop the might without exposing it to Relic. Renin 6, which is no use right now. So let's go land. And then I guess I'm just what? Playing Tameshi and attacking? Yeah? Combat, swing for 2. Alright, they just have Natron anyway. There's Karn. Can't activate Haywire Might now. They got the 1 ring. Wargate. So we just attack Karn. This costs 3. Okay, so definitely attacking Karn. Do I need to attack with Halfling as well? I guess not. What am I holding up though? I guess if I don't attack with the Halfling, I can hold up Binding plus Haywire Might. So, okay. So attack Karn, attack Karn. So Karn dies, and then I just pass with stuff open. All right, pass to the opponent. And then my plan is when they play the ring, when they go to activate it, I'll just Binding the Relic. Yeah, so immediately plays the ring. I Binding the Relic, then they're forced to use the Relic in response if they want to draw a card. Chromatic Sphere, and then I can Haywire Might the ring. Ancient Stirrings. Opponent gets another the ring. So they have 2 rings. Plays another Tron land. All right, there's the ring. All right, respond to ring activation. Leyline Binding. Target Relic. They pop Relic in response, and then I go Might the ring. No card draw for you. And then they still have 2 mana. They play their own Haywire Might. All right, we're still missing Bloom. Oh, wait, no. So, no, I can Wargate for Bloom. Let me think about this. Wargate for Bloom, and then I have 3 things. So I go Bloom, 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 Bloom. Cultivator, draw 3 cards. So, yeah, Wargate for Bloom. Oh, no, then I'm missing White Mana. No, so I'm not missing White Mana. So I go Wargate for Bloom, sack for 3. Tameshi, pick it up. So that gives me 3, 5, 7, 9, 10 mana. Then I cast Cultivator. I have 3 left. Cultivator dies, put the lands back into play, draw a bunch of cards. All right, that's what I'm doing. X is 0. Go get Lotus Bloom. Sack for white. Pick it back up. And pick up the plains. Trigger to draw a card. Sack for green. Pick it back up. Put this back in my hand. Sack for white. Pick it back up. And then I can make even more mana. So island, tap for blue. Sack this for red. And pick it back up. So then I go Cultivator. So that costs that. This, white. And what am I leaving myself with? I guess not blue. All right, Cultivator instantly dies. Then resolve the trigger, put this into play, draw a card, put... All right, opponent has conceded to this. We did not necessarily have the win there. I guess just run this back as is. All right, game 3 on the draw. All right, so we've got Force of Vigor to hit a map, but really nothing else. Like, this hand just doesn't do anything else other than hit map. All right, it is not keepable. Let's mull. This is also not very good. It does have a Lotus Bloom, but still really doesn't have anything else going for it. The ring is not good against Karn decks. Yeah, we need a hand that can actually interact with them and also has the ability to win. So let's mull the 5. All right, much better. Keep. I have to put 2 cards back, so I'm going to put back the ring and a land. And that way I can go suspend Lotus Bloom, Triumph, Binding something. I guess no, so I'm on the draw. So Binding doesn't even stop the map on curve. So I should put back Binding and... Actually, no, I need Binding to go off if they play Karn. So I should put back, I guess, the ring and a land. All right, done. Urza's Tower, map. Well, we drew the ring. Suspend Lotus Bloom, play a land, go. Second Tron piece. Yeah, we're going to be too slow to stop that, unfortunately. So let's fetch Jet Mirrors, all right, land, and pass it back. We do have Tameshi, Cultivator, and Lotus Bloom. All right, map for the piece. So now Tron online plays 7 mana, or no. Yeah, 7 mana for Karn Lib. That is rough. All right, well, we got to do it now. So fetch Zagoth, cast Leyline Binding, and then we lose a land, they lose Karn. Lotus Bloom goes to 2 counters, or 1 counter left. All right, land and go. We also need a critical mass of lands to actually go off with Cultivator, so this is pretty rough. All right, 10 mana, now what? Karn Lib, or Karn Great Creator, so now we're just screwed. Yep, Karn minuses. So they got the Stone Brain, so now they're just going to Stone Brain Tameshi out of our deck, I guess. Yep. All right, what are we drawing? You Delighted Halfling. They play a Sphere, play Stirrings. They have another Karn. All right, we can't activate Bloom. The only thing I can play is Halfling. They can just go get Sundering Titan, blow all their lands up. All right, that's game. On to round number 4. On the play. All right, it's turn 1 Lotus Bloom. It doesn't have the other pieces, but it is a turn 2 Teferi. Like, this hand is keepable. All right, suspend Lotus Bloom, Forest, Halfling, go. Basic Plains, Drum, Ornithopter, so overwhelmingly it's Hammer, Esper Sentinel. Unfortunately, they will get to draw off of that because we're probably just casting Teferi. So I do what? I go Teferi, bounce your drum, then they just attack Teferi to death with the Esper Sentinel? That seems horrible. What's the alternative? I go and fetch Hallowed Fountain and then Leyline Binding the Sentinel or the drum, and then they still get to draw a card. It keeps them off Almana, and it's better than Teferi just getting hit and dying immediately. Fetch, go get Hallowed Fountain, shock that in, Leyline Binding. All right, can't pay for Sentinel. Resolve this, take the drum, pass the turn. Inkmoth Nexus, plays Giver of Runes, plays Shadow Spear, and we get attacked and go to 16. Well, there's another Lotus Bloom, so let's suspend that. So I can go Teferi, pay for this, and then bounce Esper Sentinel back to their hand, or just bounce Giver of Runes back to their hand. So shock, play Teferi, then pay for Sentinel. Maybe it's just better to pick up my Leyline Binding. Now let's just bounce Esper Sentinel. Another Teferi. All right, pass the turn. They play Horizon Canopy. There's Pure Steel. There's a Hammer. Yep. So now they can just equip multiple things onto Giver or Ornithopter. This is rough. Yeah. Shadow Spear. Also, Giver of Runes out means I can't bounce any of their creatures. Oh, I guess I can. So, yeah, Teferi dies. We take 11 and go to 3. Do we actually get to cast Bloom this turn? All right. Cast Bloom. We drew Tameshi. All right. I only have 3 lands. I guess I just try to go off here. Yeah. So I can't block any of their stuff anyway because of Shadow Spear. So let's see. Sack Bloom, play Tameshi. Then I have 3, 6, 9, 10 mana. Exactly enough to Wargate for Cultivator. I can also do what? I can Teferi, bounce my own Leyline, and Leyline the Hammer. That is another option. All right. So let's go blue, Tameshi, and then white, green. Get this back. And then bounce the forest back to my hand. Tameshi, draw a card. All right, sack this for white. What am I floating here? I guess red. Get this back. Bounce this. Play a land. Tap this. Sack this for blue. Then get it back. Then do it for white. Get it back. And then let's do it for green. All right, opponents conceded to this. Again, we by no means had it definitively. All right, Portable Hole, Haywire, Seal of Primordium, Force of Vigor. Nothing else matters. Cutting what? Omnath is probably bad in this matchup because it's too slow. Teferi, although it bounces, it can bounce Urza's Saga and it can bounce Cauldron tokens, but all their stuff is really cheap, so it's generally not very good. They do have X1 creatures, so Ren and 6 is not terrible. What am I cutting? 1 Finale. Probably just all the Teferis, honestly. All right, let's run this. I'm surprised by how quickly people concede to the Tameshi combo because you do have, like, it's not a guarantee. Triple Lotus Bloom, Haywire Might Halfling. Wow. I guess we have a ton of mana and interaction. Yeah, I'll keep. Plays Esper Sentinel. All right, suspend, suspend, spend, fetch. Probably fetch Shocking Temple Garden. Yeah, Temple Garden, Delighted. Go ahead. Plays Urza's Saga. We can actually kill that. Hammer, we're probably... Wow, all right. I guess I'm just shooting Urza's Saga instantly. Another land. Fetch. Let's go grab an island. Yeah, I'm just going to insta-kill this. And pass the turn. Another plains. Well, they have Pure Steel anyway. So we've got very little time before they get enough stuff. Drew Finale. Wow, can we actually Finale kill them next turn? All right, play a Misty Rainforest, and I guess just pass. Inkmoth Nexus. Forge anew. Yep, we're going to get Hammer hit. Hammers onto the Esper Sentinel. And attacks, we obviously do not block. So we go to 5, then I'll fetch here. All right, all the blooms come off suspend. Cast bloom. We can't pay for Esper Sentinel, so they draw a card. Then the second one resolves. Then the third one resolves. So I have 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 mana. Do they get trample? Creatures you control get +X and gain haste. Cultivator has trample, right? Indeed it does. So this is lethal? No, it's not. Because Cultivator is... So I go land, sack everything, finale. X is how much? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So X is 11. So Cultivator's a 15, 15. So they just chump halfling and then they take 15 and they don't die. So what's the alternative? So the alternative is I go finale for Tameshi and then start going and then hope the first draw is a way to go off. But if it's not, I can just get Haywire Might back and start sniping their stuff. Yeah, I guess that's what I'm doing. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so land, fetch a plains. So let's go finale. So green, both of these, and this. X is currently 3, so done. All right, they've just conceded. Again, seems so premature, but it's like, we'll take it, I guess. Round number 5. So if they hadn't conceded, my plan was to bring back Haywire Might first and see what we drew, and then if we didn't draw anything that could actually win out of it, I would just Haywire to kill their Hammer and Forge Anew. Man, first 2 leagues of the day, I'm doing surprisingly better than I normally do on average. Have I got some new mojo after taking a break? We lost Tameshi to a bunch of stuff. All right. So Ragavan, I'm just going to have to bind that, unfortunately. I guess I don't have to do this now. All right. Pass back. All right. Swing there, swing there. All right. Cast Leyline Binding to take Ragavan off the field. Then we go to 14. All right. I don't know what they have. Maybe they're just waiting. Ooh, Teferi. All right. Teferi blue, white, this one. If they have a Bowmasters, they'll just flash it in response. Yeah, okay. Of course they do. So if I bounce the token, they actually get a token back, right? I go bounce your token, then I draw, then I trigger, then they get another token, and then Teferi gets shot. Brilliant. I guess I bounce the Bowmasters then to force them to pay to play it again. All right, bounce Bowmasters, play Halfling, and go. So the return of Bowmasters, they'll just pick Teferi off, and then their token becomes a 3/3. They attack me with it, and I don't block them. They finally hit their 3rd land also. All right, and we're still just drawing useless lands, so let's just play this, and I guess we just pass the turn. Ragavan without dash. They go directly to combat. All right, no blocks on the army, and then back to us. There's Goblin Engineer. All right, so trigger, and then I guess we just put Bloom in the graveyard and pass it back. Another Bowmasters. We go to 6, and now this is almost lethal here. Yeah. Fury, it is lethal. All right. So, sideboarding versus Scam. Veil of Summer to protect from their removal. Portable Hold to kill their early guys. Forge Tender. What else? Tormod's Crypt, I guess, can prevent them from scamming stuff back in. Only useful on turn 1, though. Same thing with Endurance. So this... Can they beat a Dragonlord Jamoka? They have, like, what? Terminate? And that's the only thing that can kill it? I think I abandoned this combo for the most part because Dothy Voidwalker exiles the graveyard. They have tons of removal. So let's cut it down to just 1 Lotus Bloom. What else? So that's 1 Finale only. 1 of the Tameshis. I can cut 1 of the War Gates because they're expensive. Eldamri's Call is also pretty expensive to use in a tempo game. All right, let's do that. Submit. Actually, do I need Haywire Might to beat Blood Moon? They also Fable the Mirror Breaker, right? So this is actually useful. So Blood Moon, Fable the Mirror Breaker. Yeah, Haywire Might in, and what? Another Wargate out, probably? Or maybe 1 of the Cultivators. Yeah, 1 of the Cultivators. Now, like, I need 2 Cultivators in order to go off. Nah, all right. So just one cultivator. All right, submit. On the play for game 2, I've got, this is an acceptable hand, keep this. Opponent mulls to 5. All right, Shotgun Temple Garden, play Delighted Halfling, and go. Blood Crypt Shock, Thought sees us. All right, they took Teferi. Ooh, Tameshi. All right, shock this in and play Tameshi, and then pass back to them. I want to hold on to this Boseiju for as long as possible in case I need to deal with Blood Moon. Meyer plays Ragavan without dash, and then they're just going to pass it back to us. All right. I can Wargate for 0, but then can't really do anything. Actually, no, I can't Wargate for 0. I don't have blue mana. All right, let's play this tapped, and then let's just attack with Tameshi. Swing! And then we'll flash in Endurance. Another land. They fetch Swamp. Dothy Voidwalker. Sure. All right, flash in Endurance. I guess I target me. Put Teferi back in my deck. So now we're racing. I can Wargate for 2. So I can Wargate and grab Portable Hole to kill Dothy, but that doesn't seem very good. But doing nothing doesn't seem very good either. Yeah, and I kind of want both of these lands as well. I guess I'll play Otawara. So let's just attack with both of these guys. We're just racing them at this point. Swing here and here. Maybe I should just Wargate for Portable Hole and kill Dothy off. Yeah, let's do that. Wargate for X is 1. I could also grab Forge Tender to block Ragavan. Now let's just kill Dothy. Portable Hole, target Dothy. Another land, which they're playing tapped. All right, snap block Ragavan. They're scamming Ragavan back, but that's fine. All right, just keep swinging, I guess. Swing, swing. And then pass. They're at 3, so they do have to, like, actually find a way to stop our creatures. They do get a Ragavan hit in here, but that's fine. All right, what does it get? They exiled Tameshi. So they're just casting Tameshi. That's fine. I'm probably just going to cycle Veil of Summer. Yeah, all right, cycle Veil of Summer. Well, we drew a land. So, nope. I guess I attack here. They have to block Endurance. Yeah, combat. Swing, swing. All right, they go to 1. I play the Halfling. Play a Plains, go. All right, we got it. So, probably just run this exact same thing back for game 3. I guess what? Drannith Magistrate prevents our opponent from casting spells via Dothy Voidwalker and Ragavan. So it's not actually pointless. Lavinia also stops them from evoking elementals. It's possible that this plan is just not good here because there's too much interaction. So I can cut Cultivator, one of the War Gates. Nah, so just bring in Lavinia, and that's probably fine. All right, submit. This hand is atrocious. We have 5 lands, Engineer Wargate. That seems horrible. Mulligan. This also seems really bad. We only have 2 lands that can only cast Delighted Halfling, and absolutely nothing else in our hand can be cast by it. Whew, this is rough. All right, go to 5. Still only 1 land. Jesus. Going to 4 seems like a recipe to lose, though. So if I keep this, I put back Wargate and probably one of the Leyline Bindings, I guess. And then just hope to draw a second land. All right, keep, put this back, done. So Blackcleave Cliffs for our opponent, plays Ragavan. All right, Delighted Halfling, go ahead. And I guess we just take this hit so I can play Wrenn and 6 and kill it. All right, no blocks. They exiled a land. Unfortunate as well. I mean, I guess it's fortunate that they didn't get anything out of it, but unfortunate that we're not going to draw that land. All right, Blood Crypt. Opponent plays Dothy. Well, this is super rough. So the only thing I can play is Wrenn and 6, so let's just do that. And then we just kill Ragavan. Then Dothy will kill Wrenn and 6. And then they will have a Wrenn and 6 that they can get back with Dothy. Torok kicked. All right, what do they hit? Engineer Binding. So then Wrenn and 6 dies. Let's see, I have to draw like white mana right now. I guess that's white mana. All right, so fetch. And it has to be Temple Garden or Hallowed Fountain. Let's see, anything blue I have, I can play off the Halfling. So I guess it should be Temple Garden in case I have Endurance. All right, shock this in, play Portable Hole, then kill Dothy Voidwalker off, and then just pass. Season Pyro. Don't know why they're still playing that. Discard Bowmaster's Pyro, plays a land. Then we get smacked for 4, no blocks. We drew Veil of Summer, that's not helpful, so pass it back. Opponent Thought Seizes, alright, Veil of Summer. Opponent plays another Pyromancer. I don't know how we get out of this. I think we're just dead. They discarded Dothy, alright. Plays another land, so just swing there, no blocks. Alright, we're at 5. Alright, so this is just lethal on the board here. I can only block this and then I'm dead. Unfortunate mull to 5 at the end there. Well, we went 3 and 2 with Tameshi Bloom, so the deck has a good amount of sort of recursive elements to it. Like, it's hard to keep it off of its combo forever. The fact that Tameshi draws a card when you start the combo as well means even if it dies, you at least drew a card. It's got lots of tutors to try to find the pieces that you need. However, what I don't like about it is that it's susceptible to so many things. Graveyard Hate stops Bloom. Stony Silence Effect stops Bloom. Any creature removal kills Tameshi. If you pick up all your lands with the Bloom when Tameshi, and then they have a way to interact after that, then you just have all your lands stranded in your hand. It has the problem of even when you go off, you don't necessarily actually kill your opponent, because if you have like Tameshi, Lotus Bloom, Cultivator, and then you do all that, and then you don't hit another payoff, then you can't actually win the game. So on the other hand, the deck is also good about pivoting into like a more mid-range value thing. It can play Omnath and just general value plays as well. So I don't think it's terribly well positioned, but overall a solid deck, I would say.